It says I'm live, so I guess it is. How you doing today? I'm Tim Carter, founder of AskTheBuilder.com, and today is Ask Anything Friday. I did this at the suggestion of my son, who recommended that, there are different themes, that you don't do the same thing every day. And this is your opportunity to have just a relaxed conversation with me. You can ask me anything you want. Just let's stay away from all the hot button topics, really. I mean, we don't need to go there. Okay. So if you've got any questions about, how I run Ask the Builder, anything about my background, my hobbies, where I've been, whatever it might be, I'd like to have that conversation with you. The photo that I used today for the thumbnail. Hey, how you doing there, Lemon? How you doing? How you doing? It's great. Um, so the photo that I used today for the thumbnail was a really interesting one. Uh, Artillery fungus, if you've never heard of it before, and Mother Nature is really pretty amazing when you think about it. She there's this fungus that grows in mulch, just like the mulch you may buy. It's really kind of regulated to certain ones, but when it explodes the spores, it's like a giant artillery or like a rocket. And think about this: this tiny spore can shoot these tiny little dots, these tiny little sticky globs up 15 feet in the air. It's crazy. So so anyway, artillery fungus. That's the photo that I used today for the thumbnail, and it afflicts a lot of people. And here's the bad part: it's really hard to clean off. Not easy. Not easy. You have to rehydrate it, and rehydrate just simply means you get it wet. So uh, and that's the way you clean a lot of things. In other words, if you've got plates and dishes where the food has dried and you didn't get to them for a week or two or three, uh, if you just kind of soak them in some water, magic happens. And all of a sudden, most of the time, the food then scrapes off really easily. So use water to your advantage. Simple as that. Okay, remember today is ask if you got any questions at all, just chat them to me. By the way, if you're viewing the stream, and I hope I have this set up right. I have to go through this process to get the stream going, and one of the questions they ask is who is allowed to comment, and I say everyone, meaning um, it means it says anyone or just subscribers. So now that I think about that, that means anyone with a YouTube account. So if you want to comment, chat me something, you have to have a YouTube account. I'm 99.999% positive. And it's easy to set one up, and you don't have to upload a video. There are thousands and thousands of YouTube accounts out there that don't have any videos on them. Okay. I remember your video with the copper and the moss. Correct. So the video you're talking about, that's probably the trailer that plays on my channel. And interestingly enough, about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I was the first person in the world to discover that copper slows down the oxidation of asphalt shingles. All right, so we've known for years, I mean, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, man has known that copper is a natural biocide. And, that means it's just a natural poison. That's why they used to nail, and they still do, they would nail sheets of copper on the hulls of the clipper ships because that it would prevent the barnacles from growing on the wood of the hull. And when the barnacles grow on the hull, it slows the ship down when it sails through the water. So the captains of the clipper ships and the owners, they made a lot more money if the faster those ships sailed. Simple as that. And old Ironsides down in Boston Harbor, it's got copper on it. So anyway, so if you put copper up on your roof, and every time the sun hits it, it breaks a little bit of the copper off, and then the rain washes it off, and then you get copper down on your shingles. Well, that prohibits the growth of mildew and algae on the typical roof. But no one had figured out that that the copper also reacted with the asphalt, the oxidized asphalt, and stopped it from cross-linking. So that what happens is if you get a bunch of asphalt um, molecules that interlock with one another, just like cars in a freight train, like a very long freight train, then the asphalt gets really brittle, and that's why the shingles curl, and that's why they don't hold on to the little granules, and that's why your 30-year-old shingles fail in 10 years. All right. So anyway, so you can put copper up in your roof, and I've got columns on the website about it. Just go there and look them up. DIY grading. So LV2 tips or video recommendation. I don't know if you could help me out. I mean, that's kind of a big question. I need you to be a little bit more specific, LV. Tell me what are you trying to grade? How much are you trying to grade? Give us a little bit more information. Thanks, Lennon Polo. I just am fascinated by a bunch of the stuff about home building and remodeling, and God has been really fortunate to me and kept my brain still pretty active and remembering all this stuff. And I still have the fire in my belly, and I like doing it. So that's why I'm doing these live streams, by the way. Yeah, I tried it about 2 years ago. I don't think everybody was ready for it yet, but apparently now they are almost mainstream, if not mainstream. So I'm going to be doing them every Monday through Friday, and we'll see where it goes. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I've already had a ton of fun. So LV, I'm waiting for you to type DIY grading. I just don't even have an idea of what you're really talking about. I don't know how big of an area you're trying to grade. I don't know how much dirt you're trying to move. That would really help. So we'll just keep going here until LV types some more. If you've not subscribed to my newsletter at askthebuilder.com, I recommend you do it, because every Sunday it's just packed with a lot of fun information and other stories about what happened to me during the week. For example, like today, I got new tires put on my wife's car. The first time ever we've put snow tires on it. So maybe I'm wishing bad luck upon myself, and it's going to be a really snowy winter here in New Hampshire. But we got I did a little bit of research. Some friends of mine have used them before, but BF Goodrich makes a tire called the Blizzak, so Blizzak, and it's got really, really fantastic reviews. It's been around for quite a few years, and you wouldn't think, when you think about this, you wouldn't think that tire manufacturers could make a tire that really, really performed well, on the ice as well as snow, and evidently this one does. So, well, I still have a Volvo. Yes, I have. My wife's car is a Volvo XC90, pretty old one, 2005. So anyway, so yeah, we still have it. I had a Volvo station wagon, V70, and I love that car. I think that Volvo V70 station wagon might have been. It was a 2002 model. Might have been the best car I've ever driven in my life. It just comfortable. It's a fantastic road car, fantastic for road trips. I can't. If I had to buy, if I hit it big, I can tell you I would buy another Volvo station wagon. I just, boy, I love that car. Do you recommend stone with dirt on top or only dirt? I plan to have the dirt hauled to my home. So, yeah, I know who owns Volvo. I know. Oh well, we could talk about that for hours. They own a lot of other stuff too. All right, here in America, a lot of stuff that people don't know about. So, LV, I'm still a little confused. DIY grading. So, I apologize. I don't know what you're trying to grade. I don't know if you're trying to put dirt around your house. I don't know if you're trying to build a gravel driveway. Just type one more time. Tell me exactly what you're trying to do. Say, Tim, I'm trying to add dirt around my home, or Tim, I'm trying to build a gravel driveway, or I'm trying to regrade my house so it drains better. So, I mean, you have to give me more information. I don't understand what you want me to answer, believe it or not. So anyway, uh, the the other thing you need to know is this morning while I was getting the tires put on, I was kind of brainstorming some of I'm just going to call it the deep dive topics for future live streams where we talk about one thing for the entire stream. And came up with some really good ideas, but I would like to hear yours. So if there's a particular topic you would like me to do a deep dive, just go to the website askthebuilder.com, find the Ask Tim page, and go ahead and tell me what you want to what you want me to talk about. Simple as that. Create runoff. There we go. Now we're talking. Now you regrade the house so it drains better. Bingo. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. So here's what you need to know about regrading your home, or how your home should be, how it should have been built. If you live in a bigger city and you go to some of the older parts of the city, I mean, where houses were maybe built around 1900, so that'd be 120 years ago, you will if you really pay attention. A lot of people don't. You just don't even, you don't really think about it. You just look at a house and you don't think much about it. What you'll discover, and I have a photograph. I wish I could bring it up on the screen. YouTube at this point does not allow me to work this controls like a Zoom where I could share my screen. But I would show you a photo of the first house I bought. And here's what you need to know is that the first floor level of the house was up about 4 feet off the ground around the house. So you had to walk up a flight of steps to get to the front porch. And there are thousands and thousands of houses like this in Cincinnati and the Pleasant Ridge, in the Hyde Park area, Oakley, Western Hills, western part of town. They're all over the place. All right. So what the old builders knew is that we need to get the wood part of the house as far away from the ground as possible. All right. So because they knew that it was just a bad deal if rain got on the wood. All right. Even though they were using lumber that was a lot better than today's lumber. It also saved them money on excavating. They didn't have to put the foundations as deep. And it also allowed them to put windows, that were about 2 feet high and maybe 30 inches wide in the foundation so that you could get a lot of natural light and ventilation. You could actually open the windows in these basements. Like I could open up the basement windows in my first home. Okay. So they also were smart. They knew that you had to make it so that the house was, I know this sounds crazy, and try to visualize this. Just imagine your house as being at the top of a little mountain. I know it sounds crazy, like being built at the top of a mountain, which if your house is built at the top of a mountain, what does that mean? It means that no matter which wall of the house you're at, you go down. I mean, because your house is right on the summit. Okay. So that's the way you should grade the earth around your home. But if your house was built too deep into the ground, which many modern ones are, this is very hard to accomplish. Very hard. So here's what the building code says. Okay. And understand that the building code is a set of minimum specifications. It's like if you build your house to code, it's like getting a 70% on a test. It means you just barely passed. So anything that's in the code, you can always build it better. All right. Now, so the code says, the last code that I read, that I looked at, said this, that the top of the foundation of your home has to be a minimum of 6 inches above the dirt around your home if the siding on your home is anything other than brick or rock. If you have a brick veneer or a stone veneer home, or maybe a stucco home, then it only has to be 4 inches. There has to be 4 inches of exposed foundation. All right. A lot of houses don't have that. There's like dirt coming right up to the top of the foundation. That's a huge mistake. Now, here's what the code says. That dirt, in other words, if you're standing with your back against the wall of your house and you're going to walk out into your yard, whether it's a side yard, front yard or backyard. As you walk out 10 feet away from your house, where your feet are, 10 feet away, your feet need to be 6 inches lower than they were back when you stood with your back against the house. So it's the code says you have to have 6 inches of fall. In other words, like, the ground's got to, actually, I'm going this way, 6 inches of fall. I'm exaggerating it. If this is the house back here, so back at the tip of my fingers, that's 10 feet away. It's got to drop 6 inches. Remember, that's a minimum standard. Probably better to have 12 inches of fall. So that's the target. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get a minimum of 6 inches of fall when you regrade the house, away from the house around all four sides, so that all the water, when it rains, flows away from the house. And I'll give you another tip. Make sure that any of the water that's coming off your roof, it's got to go into gutters, into downspouts, and then you need to pipe that as far away as possible from your house. I mean, to the lowest spot on the property. You don't want to dump that water on the ground right next to your foundation. That's crazy. It's just insanity. So simple as that. All right. So I hope that helped you. How would you suggest going? This is J Mall. How would you suggest about going about a renovation of a bathroom and a 1-bedroom bath condo if you're trying to save costs, but also don't want to be without a shower and toilet for too long? Oh, well, okay. So I've done a lot of those. I know this is going to sound crazy. Now, of course, I was a professional and I had a 1 or 2 man crew. The typical length of time for us to start and finish a bathroom remodel was 5 days. 5 days, seriously. So if there's a lot of information I don't have. I've not been to the UK. I want to go badly, just so you know, Lennon. I've got a lot of subscriber friends of mine that live in the UK. I so want to go. All right, so JMouse. So here's what we would do for some customers. We would set up a temporary shower if they had a basement or if they had a garage. So we could. It's really simple. It only takes a couple hours. Even if we had to do it with a garden hose, whatever. But we could make a temporary shower. Okay. The toilet is a little harder. If you've only got one toilet in the home, then as much as I hate to say it, you're just going to have to rent one of those portalets, put it in the driveway, and that's going to be your bathroom, or and it'll work. I know they're not the best, but it's going to work. And you could, even if you're really talented, if you're going to do the work, even if you have to relocate the toilet drain pipe, you can temporarily connect the toilet every day. Like, the workers can have it out of their way, and then at the end of the day, they can reset the toilet for you. So it's not that hard. It's really, I've been a master plumber since 1981, and I can tell you, if I had to reset a toilet every day just to get you through the night, I would do it in no more than 10 minutes. It would be done. All right. So it's not hard to do. You can do it yourself. So that's the way to do it. And you just have to, the biggest mistake you can make is not having all your materials there on site. So before you even start the job, you need to get all your materials there. You need to verify they're all correct. You have to have everything. I mean, every single part you could imagine. And that way you're not going to get to a point and go, oh my gosh, and have to run to go get something. So while the work's happening, you should not have to make one trip to a supply house. So that's the best way to get the job done fast with the least amount of disruption. I hope that helps. Let's see. Building is different in the UK. I'm sure it is. No doubt about it. Please, how to construct a firewall? Mohammed wants to know. Well, Mohammed, what you have to do is you can't just listen to the way I do it. All right. Here's why. Because the code, if you're building this to code, and if it's going to be inspected, you better find out exactly what's expected of you and what the materials are that you have to use. The requirements are wildly different. Some firewalls may just be steel studs with 5/8-inch fire code drywall on each side. Other firewalls might have 2 inches of drywall on it. It's crazy. Some firewalls, you might also have to put rock wall rock wool insulation in between the studs. I mean, you just can't have me tell you how to do it. You need to go find out what the code requirement is, and then just follow that. It's really that simple. So I know that's not the answer you wanted to hear, but that's the truth. Josh, you're welcome, by the way, JMO. Josh, please, what tub surround to use for a cast iron tub? Okay, well, I've been on the earth now too many decades. All right. And I can tell you right now that I am sick and tired of of anything having to do with ceramic tile. I mean, ceramic tile is beautiful. There's some absolutely stunning tiles out there, natural stone, whatever. I'm here to tell you that I am all for these one-piece or three-piece acrylic surrounds where you only have one caulk seam down at the bottom by the tub, and then if that caulk gets a little grungy, you cut it out, dry it off, and recaulk it again. All right. So I am done with ceramic tile and grout and all that. I'm not ever doing that again. I don't care. It may lead to a divorce. Who knows? I doubt it. All right. Sew together. I don't know how to sew. I wish I knew how to sew. I need some things of mine repaired right now, actually. How to fix a cream colored laminate kitchen. Just so you know, let me stop right here. I'm going to let this stream go as long as you want to go. All right. Just so you know, we've been on 21 minutes. I'll continue to answer questions. And the reason why is I am having a blast doing this. This reminds me of I did a 2-hour call-in radio show for 12 years in Cincinnati, Ohio. And it was a blast getting live questions. So here we go. How to fix a cream-colored laminate kitchen countertop that got a couple of burn spots. Okay, the burn spots are not deep, but very noticeable. Okay, so you've got a couple of options. And so here's how I always look at this, and a lot of people don't. So number one, the countertop is already ruined, right? It's ruined. You ruined it. It's done. All right. So you have to understand that the laminate is just plastic. So you're not going to cut it out and put another piece in. That would even look worse. All right. If you tried to patch it, you're kind of lucky if it's truly just a cream color. If it's a solid color, here's all I would do. I would just paint that spot. It's really easy for you to do what it takes to find a paint that's going to match. And I would just lightly sand the burn spot. You want to prime it with an oil-based primer because oil is stickier, or even urethane. In other words, I wouldn't hesitate to put a coat of matte finished or matte finish urethane on it, clear urethane. Make sure it's water-based, and it's still it's very sticky. And then as it gets tacky, in other words, the urethane dries pretty quickly. So probably within an hour, you would want to put your first coat of paint on, because that way you get a really great chemical and mechanical bond between the urethane and the paint. And you just want to put on a very light coat. Don't put it on heavy because you might need to put 2 coats on. Thin coats are better. And you might have to feather it out. And you know what? Magic's going to happen. Now, some people will buy a decorative mat. In other words, if you don't, I guarantee you this, the painted spot is going to look better than the burn. All right. So remember, the countertop's already ruined. So some people, there are these really nice decorative mats, even like a placemat that you might find that you could put on the countertop to disguise the burn spot, if it's really standing out at you like a sore thumb. But that's your only alternative. It'll cost you what, $10 to fix it. And it's just one of those things. It's like, I'm sorry for your bad luck, but short of ripping the top out and starting over, that's what you got to do. All right. I'm having a lot of fun. I don't know what Mundick problems are. I am sorry. I don't know if that's a joke or not. I have no idea what that is. All right, here we go. Groucho. By the way, I'm still having a blast. I'm having a great time. Groucho, you say my house has a wing that has only 2 bathrooms in it, which have started gurgling. Okay. They are serviced by a sanitary pump. The roof vents are clear. Could this be related to the sanitary pump? So I've been a master plumber since 1981. You've got a wing that has 2 bathrooms in it. So you may think that the vent is clear, but it may not. The other thing could be, are you sure that the pump chamber is not filled up? And are you typically the pump chambers have to also have their own separate vent. And what can happen is if the pump chamber is not accepting any more water, then when you flush one toilet, it pushes the air in front of it. And since it can't go to the tank, it'll then gurgle out of another toilet. I'm convinced that something is clogged somewhere. One of the vents is clogged. You might have a clog in the actual line that's going to the pump. There's a clog that's causing the problem. There's not a doubt in my mind. The burn spot is at the front curved lip. Yeah, I knew that's where it'd be because somebody set the cigarette on the front. I got that. I knew that's where it would be. So you just want to use oil-based paint if you can get it, if you can still find it. Otherwise, you want to get urethane paint. So urethane resin paint. You can go to Sherwin-Williams to get this. They make urethane resin paint. So the resin is the glue component of the paint. Understand that all paint is glue. A lot of people don't know this. Paint is just colored glue. All right. Think about it. If you put glue on your hand, like yellow carpenter's glue, and let it dry, it sticks, right? If you put paint on your hand, what does it do? It sticks. Yeah, you can scrape them off and clean it off. So you just want a really sticky glue, especially on that Formica. So urethane is probably the stickiest of all the resins. So just get a urethane one. See, yeah, I love you helping others out. So LV, that's right. Or a decorative paint design on the spot. Exactly. Like you could stencil it. You could then, and I've done this before, you could actually stencil. I've got an article on my website about this. Go to askthebuilder.com, sew together, and go to my askthebuilder.com website and type in stencil, STENCIL, and I don't think there's an E on it. Yeah, there's no E. And read the column about stenciling. That's a great idea, by the way. You could actually have some fun with this, because remember, the countertop is already ruined, so you can't make it worse. So have some fun. That's a great idea. Thanks for doing that. Okay, yeah. When am I going to get a better background? I'm working on that. It's going to be a little tough this winter. We're getting into winter here, but yes, I'm working on a better background. So if things go the way I think they're going to go, you're going to see a really nice, as if I'm in a workshop. So just got to be patient with me. So let's forget about the background. Let's concentrate on the content. All right. It's the cause. I don't know what that means, Lennon. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. Is the cause of deterioration? Oh, I see. You've got a T in there. That's what's throwing me off. Is the cause of deterioration in concrete due to the decomposition of mineral? No. Well, it can be. There's a problem in Connecticut here in the United States where a specific rock that was in the concrete, when it gets wet or whatever, it expands and it's blowing apart the concrete. It's very rare, but just type into Google Connecticut foundation failure. Typically, the deterioration of concrete happens because there was not enough Portland cement used in the concrete when it was mixed, or the person who was mixing the concrete mixed it wrong. They added too much water, or they added water when they were finishing the concrete, or they didn't cure the concrete, or the concrete possibly froze while it was curing. So there's all these things that go into play to make concrete strong. So there are hundreds of books written about the topic. There are scientists who spend their entire life studying concrete. They work at the American Concrete Institute, Portland Cement Association. It's an extremely complex topic, and you can read about it for months and months and months. But water is typically the biggest problem, and not putting enough Portland cement in the mix. Simple as that. Okay. Yeah. I know. Can you tell me how to clean and shine terrazzo floors that have had carpet and tile removed off them? Well, yeah, you just have to probably get an adhesive remover if there was any adhesive used on it, and if you just then understand that terrazzo, all terrazzo is, it's just marble and Portland cement. So you just have to go online and read any kind of uh, information about cleaning marble, and there are really good marble cleaners that you can buy. Never ever use anything that's acidic, because marbles are usually made from calcium carbonate, which is an alkaline rock. My college degree's in geology, so you don't want to put acid with the marble. That's a bad thing. So you need to use a neutral pH cleaner and always test it. So in other words, don't start in the middle of the floor. Go over to some closet. Go somewhere where there's going to be a chest of drawers or a buffet or something over the terrazzo, and do your test cleaning there. Because if you make a mistake, let the piece of furniture hide the mistake. Okay, so also, if you have, here's another tip. This is not easy to do, but you can do it. If you have a public building where you live that has terrazzo floors, for example, like hospitals, airports, a lot of institutional buildings, universities, colleges, they have terrazzo floors. So if you could somehow reach out, contact the facility manager, they will tell you how they keep their terrazzo floors clean. So talk to a pro about it. Don't do amateur chemistry is the biggest thing. So you can do it. I've put in quite a few terrazzo floors. All right, let's see. It's not the toilets that are gurgling. See what happens if you don't give me enough information. I cannot answer your question properly. When you type a comment, if you have to type a little longer, I know you only get 200 characters, but be pithy, but get right to it and say what the problem is. So it says, it's not the toilets are gurgling. It's that I can hear gurgling in the pipes that lead to the septic tank. Well, if you didn't hear, here's what we know. I'm just going to assume this. If you did not hear the gurgling a month ago or 2 months ago or a year ago, but now you're hearing the gurgling, all right, I'm telling you, it's a clog. Something is going on, and typically pipes get clogged. So that's the first thing that I would do, is try to figure out if it's clogged. And you could pour a lot of water down the pipe, like I routinely pour 10 gallons of water down our master bathroom toilet to keep our main drain line clear. So a lot of people don't do that. And we're actually going to do one of the live stream topics that I wrote today in my notebook right here. So we're going to talk about that, but not today. So I'm just telling you, it's got to be a clog, especially if they have not gurgled before. I like the home environment. Yeah, I know. That's the problem. Some people like the background, other people don't. So you can't. I know for all the years I've been doing Ask the Builder, it's impossible to satisfy everybody. And I stopped trying a long time ago. But I would like to have a better background. I already know that. Thanks very much for the kudos. And also, by the way, I would really appreciate it if you could help me. I'm trying to grow the stream. And so if you like what you're hearing, I've only been doing it now 5-6 days. Spread the word. Like if you're on Reddit, or if you have other friends online that you Facebook with, like if you know a stream's coming up and you do Facebook or whatever, then share it. Let other people know about it. Let's try to get the viewers up to 100. Then let's try to get to 500. Let's try to get to 1,000. Other streams do it. There's no reason why we can't do it either. But I need your help. So you need to help me. Okay. We have homes in the UK with this problem. People can't get a mortgage on them. Whatever Mundic is. I still don't know what Mundic is. Maybe you told me. I'll look it up. I'm going to write it down. I don't know what this is. This Mundic. Never heard of it. But I will look it up. Okay. UK. Got it. All right. Oh, by the way, I don't know about you, but I'm into fountain pens. I know that sounds crazy, but just old fashioned, the thing that I used in grade school, but they're so much better now, fountain pens. And this is a pretty inexpensive one. But I love fountain pens. Okay. here's Mary. Mary says, my basement floor cement, it's actually concrete, there's cement in it, is cracked from the front of the house to around 20 feet in. There is a huge 100-year-old city-owned sycamore tree at the curb. Plumbers said there is no leak. Okay, I see what happened. You probably ran out of room because they only give you 200 characters. So I don't know what your question is, Mary. It might be just that you want to know how to fix the crack. If that's the case, then just go back to my askthebuilder.com website. I've got, oh my gosh, 3, 4, 5 columns about how to fix concrete cracks. There's some great epoxy that you can buy. I've got a video on the website about concrete epoxy, so you might want to epoxy it. But don't try to repair the crack if you think it's still moving. If there's still movement, you're just wasting your time. So that's how I would deal with that. But I have, and that's another thing. Frequently, that's really kind of a teaching moment here. Just about every single question that you asked me today, I've already talked about on my website. So whenever you have a question about anything with your home, just go to askthebuilder.com, use the search engine, and remember, just type 1 or 2 words in. Like if you have a roof leak, don't type, how do I solve the roof leak on my asphalt shingles? Don't type that long thing out. Just type roof leak, 2 words, and hit the search and watch what happens, okay? So just go to the website and you'll save yourself a lot of time, because typically either I've got a video about it or I've written a column about it, or both. So go to the website, sign up for the newsletter while you're there. Okay, Mary, how do I find out what is causing the crack? Well, okay. So Mary, I wish we could talk. When did the crack just happen? I've got so many questions. How long have you owned the home? Has the crack been there forever? Did it just happen? Is it getting worse? So there's all kinds of things. First of all, let's talk about why did it crack? All right, here's what a lot of people don't know. Concrete is supposed to crack. I know this sounds crazy. So for every 10 feet of concrete that you pour, all right, think about this. If you pour a slab that's exactly 10 feet by 10 feet, and that's exactly what it measures. And then you come back a year later, it's not 10 feet by 10 feet. I know this sounds crazy. You know what it is? It'll measure 9 feet, 11 and 15/16 inches. So the concrete shrinks a 1/16 of an inch for every 10 feet, 10 linear feet. All right, so Mary, it could be just a normal shrinkage crack, and especially they happen if you have the inside of your home, like your basement. If you have what we call an outside corner inside the basement, so look where these two are, you'll have a crack that can radiate out from that corner because the concrete's shrinking and it pulls apart right where that tip is. So it just could be a normal shrinkage crack. It could be a settlement crack. It could be a broken sewer pipe underneath. There's all kinds of things. Probably the best thing for you to do is I offer a very affordable 15-minute consult service. I did 3 of them today. I did 3 different telephone consults all across the nation. I did one in Massachusetts. I've got one coming up in 20 minutes with a guy. And I did another one out west. And so I solve these problems over the phone. You can send me photos. So I need to have more information to be able to give you the right answer. So it's really an affordable service. Just go to the website. You'll see the shop button, my shopping cart. And then once at the shopping cart, you'll see on the left-hand side, Consult Tim. And just let's set up a 15-minute consult and magic's going to happen. I'm going to solve your problem. I don't know how many consults I do a week, but I do a lot of them. All right. So I just need to see photos. I need more information from you. Pretty tough to do here without photos. All right. You said, looks like the links don't work. I don't know what links you're calling about. Mary, so you say, how do I find out what's causing the crack? You're just going to have to do a consult with me on the phone. I'm just telling you, it's going to be the best money you'll ever spend on this problem. Trust me. And if I don't help you, if you feel like it wasn't worth it, I give you your money back. I mean, come on, this is not rocket science. But I think in the 20 years I've done this, I've had to give money back one time. All right, so I don't know what links don't work. Sorry about that. What is the best outdoor paint? I've got Joseph. Yeah, just like I said 5 minutes ago, when you have a question, go to the website. All right. So I'm going to answer it now. But if you would have typed best outdoor paint or best exterior paint, boom, that column would have come up. All right. So it's the paints that have urethane resin in them. Urethane resin. That's the best outdoor paint. Appreciate your live stream. We'll spread the word. Thank you. I know. I wish you could share pictures on the chat too. The problem with that, I'll bet you, the reason they don't let you do that for a host of reasons, because that privilege could be really abused really easily and offend a lot of people. And I'm sure there's a way that I could, with software, I could preview it, but you could see that people could put up photos that other people are not supposed to see. That's probably a big reason why it doesn't happen. All right. The house is 87 years old, cracked about 2 years ago. Okay. Well, that's more information. I'm going to need to see photos. Mary, I'm just telling you, just schedule one of the phone consults. If you're not happy with my advice, I give you your money back. It's that simple. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but I need to see photos. I need to have more information, and I'm going to have to go here soon to get set up for my consult call. Yes. So, I don't know what yes is, LV. Anyway, so here we go. Is the Works hand screwdriver still the most powerful? Oh, I don't know. That was a pretty, I wish Clint Eastwood would, he probably, if he watched that video, he would just shake his head, Oh, that's really, I had some fun doing it, but I have such an appreciation for Hollywood actors is all I can tell you. I mean, I tried to look good in that video, and I don't think I look very good. So those of you who don't know what we're talking about, if you go to my website, actually just type this into here, I'll type it for you. Hang on. So, all right. So go to that URL. All right. So, and you'll see a video. You'll see the video there that Lennon's talking about. Oh gosh. All right. And also, I asked for you to consider supporting the stream. If you would consider doing that, let's just try. I don't have a Patreon site. I don't have. If you like some of the information you're getting, you think it's going to save you some time and money, buy me an ice cream cone. All right. That's how hard is that? Just buy me a simple ice cream cone. You can use that link there to buy me an ice cream cone. Mocha chip is my favorite flavor. So anyway, I had a lot of fun today. We're almost out of questions. Let's see. 8-bit vinyl just chimes in. Want to say thank you for your older videos. Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah, I think they are really good ones. I think they are. You're very welcome. And I just want to let you know, I can't really say much, but there's a possibility that you're going to start seeing a lot more videos, a lot more new videos from me. So you really want to keep close. You want to be on my newsletter list. It's free. Just go to the homepage. And because there might be some really big news happening, and you do not want to miss it, is all I can tell you. So I can't share anything more. But if you thought those 3 and 4-way switch videos are good, you haven't seen anything yet. Poor which I'm drywalling in winter, drier months have visible gap in corner, obtuse corner, just fill in and paint. Go to my website and look at a column about, type this into the search engine, truss, TRUSS, and then a separate word, uplift. So let's make sure, let's get that out of the equation. Make sure it's not trussed uplift. So there's a very distinct set of circumstances how and why that happens. So do that. And I know what you mean by obtuse corner. It obviously must be on a cathedral ceiling. like here's the wall and the ceiling's going up like that on an angle. It's not flat like that. So that would be an obtuse angle. Okay, so yeah, and typically what happens, the cracks get bigger in the winter. So I would not mess with that crack right now until February, until it's the coldest. And what's causing that typically is lumber shrinkage. if it's that type of a movement. If it's not truss uplift, it's just simple lumber shrinkage. The lumber in your roof swells in the summertime because of the humid weather, and then in the drier months it releases that moisture. So the lumber is doing this. It's just expanding, contracting, expanding, contracting. You might find, I would experiment. I would wait until February. I would fill that crack with just a really, really good flexible acrylic caulk and just caulk it. And, and I've got a video on my website that shows you the right way to caulk. You got to use a grout sponge too. All right. So do that. And let's see what happens. Let's see what happens next year. But instead of, if you fill it with spackling, if you fill it with drywall tape, it's just going to crack again. But let's fill it with something, that expands and contracts, which is a flexible caulk. All right. Same thing. It's wall to wall. Okay. Same thing. Just fill that crack with caulk and see what happens. I know the hand demonstrations are just horrible. I mean, what else can I do? This is such a crude interface. Believe me, if I get my way and if things happen the way I think, I will. First of all, I'm looking into software that allows me to do screen sharing, because then I can, I can share what it is. And one of them would be, I'd love to be able to draw. I'd love to be able to take a marker, like a colored marker like this, and have like a little whiteboard that I can switch to a whiteboard and start drawing something as I'm talking. I'm looking into all that. Remember, I've only been doing this for 5 days now, 6 days. So it's the live streams are going to get better and better and better. Trust me. I'm invested in it. I want to do it, and I see nothing but upside with the live streams. So, all right. So this is going to be a last call for questions. And once again, if you learn something, if you've taken something away, buy me an ice cream cone. All right. What's so hard about that? Just reciprocate. It's the right thing to do. Yeah. Zoom might have a whiteboard. I can't use Zoom. The reason Zoom doesn't work here for me is because the beauty of it, at least now for YouTube, is that, as soon as the stream is done, YouTube automatically processes the stream, automatically throws the stream as a video on my channel that I can replay. If I used Zoom, because I've done video now for 20 something years, it would take hours of work on my part to take the video off of Zoom, render it potentially, edit it a little bit, whatever, then upload it to YouTube, all kinds of extra work. YouTube's doing that automatically. So I don't want to have to do double work. But I also know, as I said earlier in the week, there is other live streaming software out there that allows me to do a lot of what I'm talking about. I just have been so busy this week, I have not looked into it. So, and also YouTube allows me to take the stream and plug it into that software, and then you just have to go to a different place to watch it. But that's problematic for you, because if you're finding out about this stream only because you were on YouTube, you might not necessarily know that I'm live streaming somewhere else. So I have to figure all that out. It's not as easy as it sounds, is all I can tell you. But I'm working on it. So all good ideas. I hear you. Good to find it. Exactly. I'll find it. It's all gonna work out, and we're gonna be able to do a lot of really cool things. But I absolutely want to be able to draw, and because that will really help explain a lot of things in different situations. So, all right. I got to scoot because I've got a consult call coming up, and I really appreciate you watching today. There won't be any live stream of the weekend. I got to take a break, but I'll be back Monday. Probably be back about 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock seems to work out pretty well for me. I'm trying to do it late in the afternoon, East Coast time. I know it's hard for you in the UK. It's late, but I'm trying to capture as many of the West Coast people here in the United States as possible. So anyway, because it's now 10 minutes till 2 in the afternoon out on the West Coast. All right. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for your great questions. They're all wonderful. Mary, if you're still here, seriously, you really should consider one of my live, one of my 15-minute consult calls, because, why waste your time and not get the crack fixed right? You and I can, on a phone call, can accomplish so much. And here it's a really clumsy interface. And I really, really need to see photos. Okay. Thanks so much. for tuning in. I will be back on Monday, the good Lord willing. And if you've not signed up for this newsletter, I urge you to do it. It's free. Go to askthebuilder.com right on the homepage. It's a double opt-in. So once you sign up, go check your email, and then click the link in the email I send you, and then you'll be on the list. Simple as that. And once again, if you have any topics you want me to cover, go back to the website, find the Ask Tim page, send me a note saying, hey, Tim, I watch your live stream. Can you please discuss this or that, whatever it might be. All right. You're very welcome. Thank you for tuning in. I really am. I'm having a lot of fun. I don't know if it shows, but it's a lot of fun to interact with you. And thanks so very much for being here. Okay. You have a good weekend too, and be safe. And I will be back on Monday, and I hope to hear from you about what you want me to cover. It's that simple. Thanks again. I'm Tim Carter, founder of AskTheBuilder.com.